going on, everyone? Hagbones here. This is our draft analysis for the PCL, if you didn't know. And let's see here. Yeah, so we ended up with getting Volcarona as our first pick, actually. And Volcarona, as much it was a tier 1 back in Sun and Moon and whatnot, Volcarona got a major buff with being able to run heavy duty boots, which was one of its biggest issues. Because coming in on rocks, I mean, you already lose 50%, and basically Volcarona is Volcarona. It just has the heavy duty boots, no stat change or anything. Looking at it's still the same old thing: Quiver Dance, Substitute, that type of thing. 3 moves. Volcarona is probably one of the best bug Pokemon in draft. Best bug Pokemon in Pokemon itself. So, getting Volcarona is insanely good, and I am excited to use it. It gives me a defog user and a setup user, basically. And the typings are really good. So after when we came back in the draft, I ended up picking up our G-Max Pokemon, actually. And we ended up picking G-Max Venusaur. Its design is crazy good, not gonna lie. I'm not allowed to use chlorophyll. It was banned, unfortunately, but it's not that big of a deal. It's really thick still, and it still hits really hard, and we can run an item on it. So Black Sludge, Life Orb, anything. You can make Venusaur anything you want. And it gets Earth Power now, which is extremely good. Having Earth Power is going to be really, really good. And Venusaur just does what Venusaur does best. It tanks hits. It can... we can run a Swords Dance set if we wanted to. Get Swords Dance. Swords Dance Power Whip. But mostly, it's probably going to sit there in front of you. Leech Seed, Black Sludge, Leftovers, whatever you want to do. And it's going to whittle away at teams. And that is why we ended up picking G-Max Venusaur. Plus, I just really wanted to try it. It's so good. It looks so good. So, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can pick up some KOs, make some people frustrated, and go on with their life. Next pick, I wanted to finish off the Fire, Grass, Water Core and pick up a Stealth Rocker. I end up going and picking up Seismitoad. Seismitoad is probably one of the best Stealth Rockers in draft. It's really good. Other than the fact that it's got the 4 times weakness to grass, the other 2 Pokemon that we drafted before him clears that up pretty easy. And plus, it gets really good stuff. You could run it specially, or you can run it physically. It doesn't really matter. Stealth Rocks gets knockoff, a wide variety of moves. So we can do that. It gets Power Whip for some reason, not sure why. Toxic, stuff like that. I think every Pokemon got Weather Ball, so like, I don't know. We don't have any weather, so not that it would be very, very good to use, but Icy Wind for speed control and stuff like that. So I think Seismitoad is a really good pickup for this team. It gives us a first Stealth Rocker, and that finishes up our Fire, Water, Grass Core, and it gives me a Ground type as well, which is always really good in draft. Our next pick, we end up going with Umbreon. Now, Umbreon is super thick. Super thick on the special side, defensive side, it doesn't matter. It's thick all around. This also gives us a Wish user, which is really good. And I honestly, I used Umbreon for a bit in the IBL when I first came in halfway through. And it gets, it's really good. You can run a curse set. My friend Tony, he ended up showing me this curse set with Curse Payback type thing. So Curse Payback, Wish, Protector, something like that. And it actually gets Sucker Punch. A lot of people didn't know that it got Sucker Punch, but it actually does. So Priority in Umbreon is actually a pretty cool and pretty niche move. once again, Weather Ball for some reason it gets. But even a annoying substitute set with Substitute Wish, Baton Pass. I think we can use Baton Pass. We cannot. I think we can pass. I don't know if we can pass subs actually. That would be probably pretty broken. But other than that, Umbreon kind of just sits in front of you and does Umbreon stuff. So now I know that Seismitoad is more of a well, it's a mixed attack, but I wanted some really good offensive, physical attack Pokemon. So we ended up picking up Lycanroc Dusk, which is really good. Speaking of, because it gets the Tough Claws ability, so that gives us a boost in our physical attacks by 1.3, and we could run some Life Orb sets with Life Orb, or we can run Focus Sash, Sword Dance, again with Accelerock. I guess Close Combat now, that's pretty broken. And I don't know why you would, but there's bulk up sets. Get Psychic Fangs, Play Rough, Outrage, Iron Head, all the rock moves. It gives us another Stealth Rocker. I mean, we could run Stealth Rocks, Focus Sash, I guess, if we wanted to. It also gets Priority and Sucker Punch as well. It gets Tail Slap. I don't know if it did back then, but it does now. And that's probably about it. I mean, we could run a Focus Sash and Reversal set, so that'd be something interesting. And it gets Thunder Fang, Psychic Fang, Fire Fang, just no Ice Fang. It gets most of the fangs and everything, so, and it gets the Zen Headbutt. So it's actually got a pretty good wide variety of moves for that comes in with our Tough Claws ability. And I wanted our next pick is another physical abuser, but it also gives us a momentum changer, which is something I was looking at in this Pokemon, and we ended up picking up Mienshao. Mienshao is probably one of my favorite fighting types, and it gives me more priority. It gives me momentum with U-turn. Once again, you can run a Scarf set, you can run a Bandit set. Life Orb Regenerator is one of my favorite sets. Fake Out, U-Turn Out is something cool. And now it gets Close Combat now, so we don't have to rely on a high jump kick anymore. And gets a good variety of moves with Knockoff and Poison Jab, Stone Edge, more Sword Dance. It gets Aerial Ace and Bounce. Gets Coaching, which is useless in singles. Dual Chop, which is something. It gets Sunny Day and Rain Dance. I did not know that. It gets Sandstorm. It does not get Sandstorm. Anyways, we ended up getting a Mienshao. It's a good. I find it was a good U-turn mover, so good for momentum. I'm really into momentum. I didn't really get a whole lot of momentum in this team, but I got a few mons that are momentum based. I wanted to grab a fairy and I wanted to get a spin blocker. So actually coming down, I'm even surprised that I got this late in their draft, but I ended up picking up Mimikyu, which is insanely good. Good ability with disguise, so we can take one hit. It blocks rapid spin, so you can't spin rocks out, and gives me my fairy and ghost type, which is really good. Also, it gives us a really good Mimikyu. As much as it's a really good Sword Dance user, it actually is a pretty good support role with Dusty Bond or Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that. It gives me a taunt user, more priority with Shadow Sneak. But other than that, no, Mimikyu is a really good Pokemon, and getting it this late in the draft on our pick 7 is really good. Now I ended up wanting to pick up a Dragon now, because picking up Dragon in round 8 is there's not a whole bunch that's left. So we ended up getting our hands on Dragalge. Now Dragalge, I don't have a whole lot of experience with, but it's actually it's a really good Pokemon with it gets its ability with adaptability, which is the Pokemon's stab bonus is 2 instead of 1.5. So we're hitting even harder. 97 special attack, so we can hit Draco Meteors really hard, Sludge Waves really hard. It gives us a Pokemon that can get rid of Toxic Spikes. It gets Flip Turn, which I did not know, and that is pretty cool. So that's another momentum-based move, which came out in the DLC. So that gives us another momentum user. But other than that, it's got really good moves. It's got Thunder and Thunderbolt. So we run Spec Set, we run Sub Life Orb, or Sub Black Sludge Life or Leftovers, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to use Dragalge. I'm hoping that we can do some cool stuff with it. So yeah, now I wanted to patch up some of our weaknesses, and because I wanted to make sure that we have. I felt like I was a little weak to ground as Dragalge, Lycanroc, and Volcarona is not weak to it, but it's still neutral to it. And I didn't get a flyer, so I ended up picking up Exatu, which I think is an underrated mon. It doesn't look like it's bulky, but it is bulky, and it hits hard, and its speed is really good at 95. And it gives me a Magic Bounce user, so if I'm bringing Exatu, they gotta think twice before even thinking about laying rocks or spikes or using status against me. But Exatu is really good. You can run a really defensive Rocky helmet set, which, like I said, doesn't look very bulky, but Exatu can be bulky. Gives me a Defog user, just Air/Calm Mind with Psychic, blah blah blah. Gives me another U-turn user. It gives me screens. Exatu is really good at using screens. It also gets Giga Drain, which is pretty neat. I think it gets Roost, Pain Split. You can run a Stored Power set. Tailwind gets more priority and Sucker Punch. U-turn, Wish. Actually, I guess it's a Wish user. I didn't actually know that Exatu got Wish. So yeah, actually Exatu is actually really neat to use, so I'm hoping we can do some cool stuff with that. Solar Beam. Interesting. Alright, so I needed an electric Pokemon. That was my next thinking of I wanted to draft. So there wasn't a whole lot left. I ended up picking up Emolga, and Emolga is Emolga, I guess. I don't know anything about Emolga. It's got a couple of good abilities. Like Static is not bad. If I want to try and get a Static chance, or Motor Drive, which if it's hit with an electric move, we gain 1 stage in speed. But another Defog user, Air/Discharge gets Knock Off, which is pretty cool. Light Screen, you gets Nuzzle. Another U-turn Volt Switch, so another momentum base user. Another Taunt user. It's pretty fast. It's 103 speed, which is what I like in electric types. I like fast electric types, and that's about it. It gets dual Wing Beat, but I don't think that's ever gonna be useful for Emolga. And that's probably about it. I guess Rising Voltage, but Rising Voltage on Emolga is actually useless because Rising Voltage, you get 2 times power if target is grounded in electric terrain, and Emolga's flying, so it's not even hitting the ground. So it's completely useless. So our last pick. Now we've gone 10 picks, and we have legitly no steel types. So the last steel type that I could pick up was Klinklang. I don't even know what Klinklang can do, to be honest. It's got a useless ability, or it's got a couple of useless abilities in plus and minus. But I mean, I guess, and the fact is that we have Clear Body, which is not terrible. So like, it's immune to sticky webs and Intimidate and stuff like that. So I guess that is decent. Its best set is probably Shift Gear and Gear Grind, I guess. It doesn't get a whole lot of good moves. I guess it gets the steel roller move, which is new, but it doesn't work unless you have terrain on the ground. So like, it's not that great. Its best electric move, which, I mean, it's just straight steel. It's not really electric. It's wild charge. So, but it doesn't get a whole lot of variety of moves that I can use. I don't know. I guess recycle. That's an interesting move to have on Kling Klang. It gets gear up, which raises the attack and special attack of allies. Okay, so that's useless too. Kling Klang, there's not a whole lot to it, to be honest. I could run a sub shift gear set, but I don't really know what I would do with it. It doesn't even get body press. I feel like it would be really good with body press, because it gets iron defense, and I feel like Kling Klang has 115 defense. I feel like it would be really good. Anyways, this is the team that I drafted. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it. I'm hoping we can put some damage out, and hopefully we can come away with some W's. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I hope that I can bring some exciting battles at least. The team is decent. I like all the Pokemon that I drafted, so I find when I like the Pokemon, I can do a lot better, as I can say. So I am going to wrap this up, and week 1 battles will be up next week. It's Friday now, so I think week 1 battles go up the week after this. So I'll bring you guys our week 1 battle next week, and then we'll go on from there. Alright, well, hopefully we'll be seeing you in playoffs. See you guys later.